All right, everyone. Today is a super important day to... Anyways, what's up, everyone? So today is a very important date for me. Today is December 12th, 2018. And this day is very important to me because 5 years ago, 5 years today, actually, I am now considered cancer-free. Woo! I know. It's a lot to take in, so it's hard for me. I'm kind of in a fuzzy space right now because I'm in the middle of finals right now at Calvin College. It's been kind of tough. I've already had 2 today at an 8 a.m. and a 1:30. And then I have a take-home one that's due tomorrow at 5. But I wanted to take some time to reflect for myself personally and also for you to share about, the experience that I've had kind of with, cancer in general, but then also on the other side of cancer. So... yeah, today is 5 years cancer-free. So December 12th, 2013 was when I got the phone call from Mott Children's Hospital with the good news saying, Clary, we didn't see any cancer in your scans and you are cancer-free. And so that's huge. I don't know how many of you have experienced cancer. I mean, my personal belief is all of us do, whether we have family members who've experienced cancer or friends or family, or even personally ourselves, and I think we're all touched by it, and we see the ramifications of chemo and radiation and the long days in the hospital. So I think I speak to a lot of us where it's a tough journey, whether you have cancer that takes several years to heal, maybe it doesn't heal, maybe you're out in a month or in a week or a couple months, whatever. The journey for all of us is scary. I mean, those are the words that you don't expect yourself to ever hear in your life. Like, at 16 years old in high school, I'm in college now. In high school, I never thought I'd hear those words like, you have cancer. Like, that just is really groundbreaking. And for me, I take this time to reflect on that. Because on one end, I'm like, wow, 5 years ago I had cancer. Like, it doesn't register to me still. Like, I'm like, what? Like, it was that long ago? And then on the other hand, I'm like, that was yesterday for me. Like, I can put myself back in the hospital very easily and in those areas, not in like a self-deprecating way or sad, but it's not hard with such a traumatic experience to revisit the emotions and the feelings for that. And so I just wanted to take this to say thank you to all of you out there who supported me through it in high school. I mean, my school was a huge support in the families cooking meals for us and just praying for us, and that was a huge thing for my family, and something that even to this day I'm still thankful for, because I know that if something ever happens again, seriously, medically, or to me or to anyone in my family, that I have this support system. So I wanted to first off saying thank you for that. That's huge to know that I have something like that to support me when I need it and when we all need it. And so, 5 years. A lot of people, I mean, it's like New Year's is when they kind of reflect. This for me is my reflection year, or time of year, I guess, is thinking like, wow, what has happened in those 5 years from cancer? And I'm at a loss for words a lot of the time. I'm still super young, but I sometimes, I'll be honest, I wrestle with like, I should have done more, possibly, with being diagnosed with cancer, share my story more, talk to people more, write a book even. That's definitely been kind of my train of thought, like, oh, you didn't use it right. And that's on one hand so crippling, but I think on the other hand is like, I have to look at the reality is I was 16 years old. I mean, by the time I was done with treatment in December, just to be a kid, there was nothing wrong with that. And even to this day, there's nothing wrong with that. So I think that's a big thing for me to overcome, is like, I didn't waste it. I haven't wasted it. There's still so much time left. And however I use my story of chemo and my experience with cancer to help someone else, if it's just one person, then like, that's huge. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't have done it without all of you guys. You know who you are, your friends, like at school. I mean, like Grant and Andrew and everyone in my class, whether it's Blake, Steven, Levi, Jessica, Shannon, like Noel, all of these huge people in my life, my teachers like Dr. B, Mr. Roseboom, Mrs. Argyle, Mrs. Radke, like huge to have that support system in a high school to come beside you. And then even my soccer team, like my soccer team was super supportive of me. I mean, they carried my jersey to every soccer game. Like, I was part of the team still. And, you know, my coach really cared, Coach Christie. So a lot of those individuals, just a huge thank you. And another one is just my parents. I mean, I can't even imagine what it was like to watch your son go through something like that and feel so helpless, like you can't do anything. And I know you guys would have done... Oh, man. Is it good again? Oh, I know you guys would have done absolutely anything. And then, lastly, my siblings. Like, you guys are the toughest people I know, whether it's Ava or Georgia or Clint. And, I mean, we all grieve differently, and it was a tough process for us. I mean, you guys had to grow up a lot. Not only me being 16, but you guys having to take care of yourselves. And I'm really lucky to have you guys for that. Like, and I mean, they came around me, whether it was, you know, spending almost every weekend in the hospital with me and trying to juggle school. Like, that's tough, and a social life, and not worry. And like, my sister Georgia would crash out in the hospital room and had soccer games the next day, and definitely the better soccer player than I was, hands down, because I need my beauty sleep. I need to be treated like a princess before a game. And she could just sleep in a couch in a hospital room and get like 4 hours due to BB machines and go out and play a soccer game and be phenomenal. So, I mean, all of you guys, I'm so honored and blessed to have you guys as my siblings. Like, I'm spoiled. I have the best siblings in the world. Like, sorry, guys. It's just a fact. Like, you can't beat me on that one. And parents. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for that. And to be on the other side of it, I mean, coming out of chemo, there's a lot of things you deal with, like chemo brain, and I felt very dumb after getting dosed with so much chemo, and a lot of things I've wrestled with, and looking at 5 years now, being like, wow, I'm doing really well in college, like better than I thought. I have my best GPA this semester. Not sure what it is, but it's better than it was in high school. I have a couple 90s and like 288s. We'll see how they end up after finals. No promises that they're going to stay that high, but I mean, seeing how physically I've gotten better, and that's a huge frustration, I know, for me, but others who have gone through cancer as well. Like, it's tough. There's definitely something that feels off. So, I mean, that was a huge thing, and ultimately I have to thank God at the end of this. Like, huge. I mean, without him, I don't know how I could have gotten through and kept my sanity. I mean, he showed up and he gave me this peace that I can't describe at all. Like, to say that I was okay with whatever the outcome would be of cancer is jarring, even to hear myself now, and definitely to others. Like, oh, how could at 16 you come to, you know, wrestle with it's okay to die, and ultimately that was the peace of Christ, 100%. Like, I knew where I was going, and for him to comfort me in such a difficult time, it just speaks to his healing power. And then even the fact that I was healed, I mean, not only was I healed physically from cancer, but emotionally, there was a lot of things. I mean, I was going down definitely not the greatest path in high school, and on that trajectory, and through, I mean, cancer really stops time. Like, you got nothing to do in the hospital, and, you know, talking to him and healing a lot in that way, I think, put me on the path that I am now. Still not sure what it is, but it's definitely better than what it could be. So that's huge. And he didn't waste my pain. Like, I don't know what you guys are going through, but like, that is a dangerous prayer to pray, because he answers that one. That's for sure. Don't waste my pain. And you're not really sure in the moment what it looks like. Like, for me, I thought, oh, don't waste this pain. Like, I'll just be really nice to nurses, and maybe through that, like, they'll see Christ or something like that. And I'm seeing a lot of it now, even 5 years out, of what happened in cancer and the pain of spinal taps every Monday to make sure cancer's not in my brain or in my spinal cord, or, you know, getting 24 hours of chemo the last 2 weeks for the last 2 rounds of chemo, getting that, and 1 week apiece for the last 2 months, or all the other chemos that could have, like, hurt my heart and all those things. That protection and that pain, I mean, being alone in that hospital room, and seeing how he didn't waste it. He's used it where I've been able to be honored to talk for Make-A-Wish and share my story of how they, you know, granted my wish, and that was huge, and he's blessed me with that ability communicate that story really well and open up those doors, and even just honestly to be a better person. Like, it's weird to think about, but cancer made me someone who could sympathize that's not even a word, sympathize with individuals and really start to look at what is valuable in life. And I mean, ultimately a lot of things got stripped away at 16. Sports wasn't around anymore, the other day-to-day things with high school, and I was forced to really look at what's valuable in life, and it's relationships through and through. Like, you can control that. Maybe not the response always of people, but you can control your role in the relationship, to be a light, and are you giving to people? And so I think that was huge, just to make me a better person. I mean, I still got a long way to go for sure. Like, I can still be pretty rude to people and not nice, but for the most part, being aware of those pitfalls was a huge lesson. And I mean, I played soccer. If some of you guys know me, like, I rode Pine. Like, I'll be honest, like, I didn't play much. Health conditions wasn't that good either. I mean, I could play. I wasn't the worst player on the team, but I could play. I wasn't the best either. So, in the middle ground. We'll go with middle. Good player. Good. B+. B-. Anyways, but to meet Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, Make-A-Wish was definitely the factor in that one and getting to meet him and all that. But I ultimately believe, like, I had no idea about Make-A-Wish, and they do a really good job at getting the news in the hospital. But, Christ setting that up, I really believe he had a hand in that. I mean, to fly to Spain for 5 days to meet your favorite soccer player, Cristiano Ronaldo, and the whole soccer team, and Make-A-Wish take care of it, and your whole family gets to go. I mean, what they're doing is like a miracle. So, like, that's been huge for me, and I always see of that as being a blessing that came out of it. Sorry, I'm fighting something. Ugh. So, yeah, I'm really, really blessed to be able to make this video with you guys, to share this. Like, we're 5 years out, to have my hair back. It's not gone, not bald or anything like that, and ultimately just to be able to make mistakes again and be a kid. I mean, I had to grow up really, really quick at 16, emotionally and spiritually, and battle things most people won't battle, and that's not like, oh, boo-hoo me, or oh, super strong me. It's just, it was a fact. It happened. And so just to be able to be here 5 years and to enjoy college, to graduate high school 1, and to be here and to have friends and goof off and be a kid is a blessing in itself. It seems very simple and maybe not something huge and big from it, but the fact that I'm standing here, that I'm healthy, that my blood work that came in 2 days ago said everything looks good, you're clear. I had my appointment where Mott Children's Hospital said you're no longer in remission, we're moving you to the cancer-free, you're in long-term care with us now, and now we're going to look at side effects from chemo. To be able to have those conversations for me is so liberating, because as strong as maybe some people think I am, I mean, when we get around this December time, even up until this year, I still have in the back of my head, like, oh, could the cancer come back? Yes, it could, but it's not. And I don't believe it will come back. And if it did come back, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. There's no point in worrying about it. But I think a huge thing for me is, like, yeah, sometimes it's really scary when this time comes around, and having that closure, like that medical closure where they're like, no, you're good, like, you're safe, brings a whole lot of just decompression. That's not a word. Takes away the stress. We'll go with that. Takes away the stress in my life of, oh, could it possibly come back? And being able to close another chapter, and I'll ride with this long-term care for another 5 years, and then that'll end, and I won't see him. And so I'm really excited for kind of looking back at what has happened in these last 5 years, from sophomore year of high school to now finishing sophomore year of college and going into junior year after this semester, to being able to be like, wow, like, one, look at where I've come, look how God has, one, sustained me and given me all that I've needed at each moment, and also to look at the family I've been blessed with, the school I was blessed with, the hometown I was able to grow up into, all of these different things that I think sometimes we forget where we've been born or certain things like that. And when we start looking around and seeing, what's the good, what's really been the good in our lives and being grateful for things. I think that helps a lot, at least for me personally, like being like, you're okay where you're at, you're good. Like, we got a lot of time. So that's all I really wanted to say, was just share with you more of my reflection over these last 5 years of going through cancer and what it's like, and not so in depth about it, but just a little overview, so to speak. I'll probably do something later in the future where I go more in depth about my cancer story. If that'd be something people are interested in hearing, I'll probably just make it for myself, honestly. These are like video journals I like to do. But yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who prayed during that time and who supported me, and the people who are still around me now. Like, that's just, I couldn't have done it without you guys at all, getting through it, and even in other areas of life. So thank you. And to any of you who are going through cancer right now, like, feel free to reach out to me. Like, I don't have the answers. I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to be able to be like, oh, like, it'll be better. Like, no. But I definitely be someone who just listen. Just, was the biggest thing for me, was I had bad days, like, where I hated the hospital or the little things, and I just needed to let it out and scream and cry. Like, I had to. I wasn't perfect. Like, God's so great. This is so awesome. Like, I'll get through this. I'm strong. Like, no. A lot of days were spent in bed crying, terrible sleep, dark room, like, wanting to just be home. So I extend that to you, to get a hold of me if you just want someone to talk to. I mean, I know for me, one of my nurses had gone through lymphoma cancer, and another one had gone through leukemia. Just to vent to them was really, really, really life-giving for me, to just be able to dump that and know I wasn't looking for a response. I wasn't looking for them to say it's okay. I just knew that they had an idea of what I've gone through. Not specifically, but we've all been touched by cancer patient-wise, and so I knew that just kind of venting them to them and them acknowledging it by just listening helped me feel not crazy and alone with my battle. So I want to extend that to you who is ever going. My cancer slogan was, no one fights alone. And it's true, no one does. The support system and everything. So if I could be a part of that to you, to come alongside of you as a brother, to help you, to know that you're not going to fight this cancer alone, I would absolutely love to do that. That would be an honor for me to walk that with you, or just to be a one-time call, like anything like that. That would be awesome. But I just wanted to say thank you again to everyone in my life who got me through this, and for listening to this video and reflecting on these 5 years and all that. So I hope you have a good evening. I'm going to go back to studying finals, trying not to procrastinate. And I hope you all have a wonderful holiday this Christmas. All right, talk to you later. Bye.